What is worth seeing in Vancouver? One of the most beautiful destinations I've ever been to in my life. I spent a week there in August 2019 visiting all areas of this diverse city and many of the key attractions. So in this video, I will be showing you each place that I visited, guiding you on what there is to see there and whether it was really worth seeing. Starting with Gastown, the core of Vancouver, named after, unfortunately, Gassy Jack, seaman who opened the first saloon in the area. They have this famous steam clock there, vintage lampposts, and it is really great for souvenir shopping. We bought tons of maple cookies, and you have some of the best and fanciest restaurants in this area. If you want an amazing view of the whole of Vancouver, go to Vancouver Lookout. $18.25 for adults, which is about 14 quid. Gastown is not a cheap place, but neither is Vancouver. Now for all you shopaholics out there, there is Robson Street, all the brands that you will expect to find. And there's also more Canadian brands such as Aritzia, a clothes brand. You will actually realize when you're walking along Robson Street how many Asians exist in this city. Vancouver is literally like an Asian city in the West. There is also Cafe Artigiano. Now this is a chain coffee store that is Canadian. There's super good food. And speaking of other Canadian food stores that are unique, there's Japa Dog. They're hot dogs, but also with the stuff you'd find in Japanese food. All the stuff, the mayo, the seaweed, bonito flakes, you would find on like takoyaki, but they've literally just put it on like hot dog and called it Japa Dog. A more cultural side of Vancouver, representing the Asians, is Chinatown. According to Wikipedia, has a buzzing food scene. I couldn't agree more. They have Asian bakeries, dim sum, hip cocktail bars, and the Sun Yat-sen classical Chinese garden. So this garden has all those stereotypical Chinese garden things like lotus leaves, goldfish, the pagoda, the bonsai trees, this random bird. I don't know whether that's a crane or a stork, guys. Can you let me know in the comments? And for some reason, this is how they feed the fish, by whacking the gong. And then now moving on to the cool area of town, Yaletown, full of hip restaurants that look fancy and expensive, full of nice cocktails and bars, a bit like Soho in London, but like small, and full of like, you know, young professionals, like wealthier people, trendy condos, I'm sure everywhere. I would recommend it if you are young, looking to have fun. Go check this area out, guys, and maybe a bit noisier if you were to like stay at your hotel in this area. However, this is one that's more general for everyone to enjoy. This is the Granville Island Market. This is an indoor market with fruit, veg, bread, iced teas, seafood, flowers, arts galleries. I got this cinnamon record thing. See, it's bigger than my face. I got olives as well. And I got this gourmet sandwich. Pork belly was not bad. I think it could have been a bit better actually. It wasn't crispy enough for me. Should have got the roast chicken. They also do ice cream sandwiches in the area. And I also tried this maple rhubarb ice cream from this Rogers chocolate place that I do recommend, guys. If you're not into your markets, I don't think this one is a must though. So we have something even bigger and better for you guys to enjoy. The beach. English Bay Beach, one of the biggest beaches in Vancouver, right opposite Denman Street, which has tons of shops and restaurants. In English Bay Beach, you can find swimming, you can find volleyball, you can get really good ice cream from this place called Rain and Shine that does like London fog ice cream, honeycomb, honey lavender, and if you go during the sunset, it is a perfect place to see this beautiful red-orange glowing sky. We haven't even got on to the best part of Vancouver though, the scenery. If you go to the waterfront, you can see a view of the mountains, the sea, you can breathe in the fresh air, and you can see why Vancouver is rated one of the best places to live in the world. Canada Place, walk along there, basically where you can take cruises to Alaska. There is like a convention center there, there's a hotel there, and there's a place called Fly Over Canada, a simulation ride. You're strapped to like a chair, and for 8 minutes you're like, it's like you're flying over Canada with like wind and smell and mists. Right next to the waterfront is Stanley Park. This is a massive park. It is 25% bigger than Central Park, almost 3 times bigger than Hyde Park, and there are so many things that you can do. They have playgrounds, of course, a water park, golf course, beaches there, an aquarium there. And if you want to go cycling there, you can rent a bike from Spokes Bike Rental, $33 for 3 to 6 hours, which is about £20. And near Stanley Park is the Lions Gate Bridge. Yes, it is literally a green look-alike bridge of the Golden Gate Bridge. Perfect place for your Instagram photos. Now this one is one of the biggest attractions in Vancouver, Capilano Suspension Bridge. It's 137 meters long, 70 meters high, and it's above a river. And I promise you guys, it is not scary at all. Yeah, you can like potentially fall off it if you're an idiot. It's been designed to be super safe, and it was built since 1889. I highly recommend visiting this place. They also have the cliff walk. They have narrow bridges that are suspended by thin cables for those daredevil guys out there. They also have the treetop adventure, less scary, and this is the perfect place to stop for your Instagram photos. You only need 2 to 3 hours to really experience it. So the price, okay, it is a bit steep. It is $53.95. That's like 40 quid. You could be spending that on date night. Now, if you want to go somewhere even bigger with even more amazing cool attractions, you've got to check out Grouse Mountain. It is a ski resort, but even if you go during the summer, which we did, you will get the sky ride, which is basically this massive gondola that takes you straight up to the top of the mountain. They had the Birds in Motion show. That's eagles, owls flying around in the air all over your head. They have brown grizzly bears, and they also have the Lumberjack show, a comedy show where you have 2 lumberjacks axe throwing, running on the logs, climbing like tree height logs. It is hilarious, guys. If you go during winter, of course, you've got to go skiing and snowboarding. They do lessons there at Grouse Mountain. If you get the winter ticket, that includes the sky ride, the ice skating ponds, snowshoe trails, the light walk, and they had the sliding zone. Additional amazing cool things that you can do at the top of the mountain. Ziplines. We did this. This was super fun, guys. You're ziplining through the forest. An incredible, amazing view that you get to experience. And it's like you're flying, basically. There's also treetop adventure. You know, there's like obstacle courses in the trees. And if you want to take it a step further, they have paragliding. That is terrifying. The price? $59. If you make the most of it, you can definitely do it within a day. You gotta check it out. And finally, the most epic place you can visit near Vancouver, Whistler Mountain. To get there, you get the Sea to Sky Highway, Highway 99. And I have to admit, guys, this is a long drive. It's supposed to take you 2 hours. It took us 4 hours, but the drive there is still amazing. Along the way to Whistler, there are so many things that you must stop at, that you must check out. You could actually take 2 days to go and fill your whole 2 days of attractions before you even arrive in Whistler. So the first attraction along the way is called White Cliff Park. You can go there, you can enjoy the ocean breeze. You could go to Shannon Falls. So this is the 3rd highest waterfall in British Columbia, and there are obviously tons of trails in this whole area. But even bigger, the Sea to Sky Gondola. This is one of the new attractions in Vancouver. It did get vandalized recently. Someone actually cut the wire and all the gondolas fell to the ground, which was crazy. But it's reopening in spring 2020. They have an elevated walkway up amongst the trees, a suspension bridge as well, and you can do hiking even more beautiful than Capilano. After the Sea to Sky Gondola, you can go to Squamish or Squamish. It is a little local village in the middle of your journey, and this place has trails, there are places where you can fish, and there has the Garibaldi Lakes. This is a beautiful lake where you can take some amazing photos of the clear blue waters surrounded by the trees. I didn't get to go there, unfortunately, but it looks like a dream. And once you've stayed overnight, you can go to Tantalus Lookout. So this is a lookout viewpoint where you can see the incredible snowy mountains. Now, one place we did stop along before you reach Whistler is a place called Brandywine Falls. It's the only hiking trail that we did actually, and they have like a railway track here. You can take some Instagram photos. You have this incredible waterfall that you have to check out, and then you will reach Whistler. Whistler Village, my first impressions, to be honest, it looks a bit fake. There are loads of restaurants, there are loads of shops there, but everything looks a bit artificial. Look at the buildings, the architecture. It looks like it was just made just for this, you know, which it was basically. It's the Olympic Village. If you go to Whistler, guys, there are so many activities you can do. Ziplining, even bigger and better than the one in Grouse Mountain. Tree adventures, eagle viewing, bungee jumping, sleigh rides, ice caves, ice skating, ice climbing, dog sledging, snowmobiling. In the summer, there are so many things you can still do. Biking, hiking, golf, bear viewing, sky bridge. However, because we took so long to get to Whistler and we wanted to make it back before dark, we only spent 2 hours in the village. We literally ate some ice cream and then left. If you guys get the chance, I highly recommend that you give all these activities a go and make the most of it. You can't really do Whistler in a day trip, that's absurd, especially if you drive as slow as my dad. Make this a 3 to 4 day extension. Now, a little bonus place that I would really recommend actually, Joffrey Lakes. Joffrey Lakes is one of the most beautiful, amazing areas, and you can see these even better than the Garibaldi Lakes that I was talking about. Absolutely incredible. Loads of Instagrammers go there to take some amazing photos. So guys, is Vancouver worth seeing? I think that is a pretty resounding yes. There are many things that make it super expensive, which is a real shame. However, the quality of life in Vancouver is insanely high. If you have the chance to visit Vancouver and you can make the most of the opportunities that you have when you go there, it is totally worth going to check out, seeing all the attractions, breathing in that fresh air, and making the most of this amazing city.